Welcome back YouTube. Here she is, the budget boosted E36 as I'd like to call it. Some things were done on the cheap, some things weren't done on the cheap. It's got Chinese turbo, some things are skipped on, some things are done. We'll wait and see, you'll have to see when we get into the specs. As you can see, it's been dipped in Nardo grey. It's got bandit steel wheels, 9J front, 10J back. It's got the roll cage, seats, harnesses, fire extinguisher, hydraulic handbrake, everything fiberglass bonnet with pins. It's got wide body, knock-off rocket bunny kit. It's got plenty of stuff, but before we get into the specs, I think we should take you outside, let you have a little walk around it, and that's it. Let's get it. So what do you think? Obviously a bit of rough around the edges. Not meant to be a pretty car. It's a drift car, it's a round car. But altogether it's a pretty good package, bit out of the ordinary. It is road legal, which obviously it doesn't look like it, but it is road legal. Unfortunately, when I first started doing this car from when I first got it and I decided to turbo it, I wasn't planning on making a YouTube channel, so unfortunately I haven't really got videos of the process. I have got a few photos though, which I'm going to read off in a minute. As well as that, I did get a couple of little clips here and there. I don't know how many I'm going to put in, but one of them was actually when I got the Chinese turbo, and it was right when COVID hit, so I did do a little funny video, which I'll include as well. But yeah, I'll reel that off first, because I think I kind of want to do it in order, so I'll reel off the photos that I got, and then we'll come back, flip the bonnet off, and we'll have a look what's going on underneath.
think I'm alright.
Right, now you've seen some of the build process, some of the photos, videos. We'll dive in a little bit deeper now. So to start with, you've got the Chinese 3582 knockoff Garrett turbo basically. I've got the ram air filter on it. I've got a 4-port Mac solenoid. I originally did have a 3-port Mac solenoid on it, but when we was getting mapped, we had some problems, so we switched to 4-port. You'll see that in the other video. If you watch the video where it's getting mapped, you'll see why I had to go from a 3-port to a 4-port. It's got a teal knockoff Chinese wastegate, 44mm, and the Chinese dump tube came as a package. Exhaust 3-inch all the way through. Massive shout out to Alex at Hotwood Motorsports, he made the whole exhaust. Bosch wideband sensor. It's running on K-Data standalone ECU. If you don't know what that is, it's basically a Mega Squirt knockoff. They basically put a Mega Squirt chip into the stock ECU. That has got a built-in wideband controller. It also got a built-in 4-bar map sensor. That's why it hasn't got a MAF anymore. That MAF has been deleted. I've also deleted the intake air control valve just because it causes problems and I couldn't be asked to mess around because M52 manifold, you have to like match it up. Basically, just adjusted the throttle body so it's open a little bit, and then when it was mapped, he just ironed it out. So now it just starts up perfect, and you don't even need. To be honest, if anything, it probably idles even cleaner than it did before. But so yeah, then we've got Cerakoted this cover just to try and stop it melting basically. I did have a heat shield on it, but the heat shield would still allow the water to come through, and with the vent in the bonnet it was just filling the plug holes up and it was just driving up the wall. Every single time I come to start it, if it had been raining, it either wouldn't start or it'd misfire, and in the end I just thought I'll put this back on. I thought it might melt, but it ran up on the dyno and it hasn't melted yet. I've got some gold tape down there and then obviously Cerakote on as well. Chinese fuel rail, Bosch EV14 injectors, breather. I've just ran a massive hose down with a little filter on the end. Obviously, ideally you'd want a catch can, etc. But with being a budget builder, I wasn't really that bothered. M50 manifold, like I already said. HKS knockoff blow-off valve. Braided lines, whole fuel system's braided all the way through the car. I'll show you the full fuel system in a minute, but basically the tank from underneath the car has been ripped out. The fuel tank's now in the back. So braided lines through to a fuel pressure regulator. All the intercooler pipe is just universal. I pretty much just measured it out, worked what angles I need and just bought all universal bits. It's got a Dorenza intercooler. It's actually got a bash bar on it. It's the intercooler is actually mounted to the bash bar. As for internals of the engine, I had the engine out, renewed some gaskets, etc. It's got ARP head studs, which I got from K64. It's got a decomp plate, which I got from K64. K64 manifold as well. I cannot shout them out enough. I was looking at doing a Chinese manifold. Luckily, the guy didn't send it very fast and I cancelled it before, because after I started looking into K64, I was like, the price was only a little bit more than the Chinese ones, but the quality was like 10 times better. So honestly, it's a no-brainer. Even if you're doing a budget build, I highly recommend just get the K64 manifold all day. So yeah, shout out to him. Oil feed for the turbo comes off the oil pressure switch that came from FDWL, which was supplied by, again, Alex at Hotwood Motorsports. He also supplied the clutch and the flywheel for it. It's got a single mass flywheel and the clutch. But yeah, I think that's pretty much everything under here. It's just got an electric fan on a switch now. I just went for a high-end fan, but I decided to put it on a switch. But yeah. That's pretty much everything under here. So now I'll take you around to the back and you can see the fuel system in the back. Right, so here's the fuel setup. Obviously you've got feed, it's got a manual valve, comes through, inline filter, Bosch 044 inline fuel pump. It's got another filter, then it runs through the firewall that I made. Obviously this one's returned, comes through, drops straight back into the top. This other one we've got around here, this is the breather for it. Obviously runs through, it goes actually through to where the normal fuel cap would be. There is a one-way valve in that as well, so if the car was to flip over and the fuel ran down here, it would stop. It basically move the valve and stop, just to stop you draining the fuel if you was to flip it over, because the last thing you want is it all pouring fuel out everywhere. But yeah, the fuel tank from underneath is completely ripped out. This is all it's got now. This is 30 litres. Is a bit of a pain in the arse. I do carry that with me anytime I go anywhere. That's a 20 litre, so I fill that up. That's what the strap's for, so I strap it in at the side so it doesn't move around and stuff. So yeah, bit different. There you go. Alright, so that's it. Showing you around the budget boosted E36. What do you guys think? anything you would have done different, anything you want to know about, just drop it down in the comments. I'm always happy to help where I can. Anything in the videos as well, what do you think of the video? Obviously I'm new to this, never done YouTube videos, never done any kind of videos really. So yeah, if there's anything you want to see with this car, anything you think I should have done different, just drop it down in the comments. Catch you on the next one.